Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I've been gone a while. I was depressed via my breakup, which I may talk about or I may not because I'm not 100%, 120% over it. It really did me a big one. It really ripped me a new one. I wasn't ready for it. I felt like the rug got pulled all the way out from under me. I will talk about how I feel, but I don't know if I'm ready to completely just like do a whole video. When I think about it, it like makes me cringe because it really ripped me a new one, okay? That's where I've been depressed. Just thought I'd be honest with you about that. But I am trying to like put my badussy back into content, okay? So please understand, I'm about to do my best. So please subscribe and follow along because I do love doing this and it does bring me back to myself. And I am trying to give you more like actual me content and lifestyle content. And I think this can be my anchor into reality because as a Pisces, I be floating, bro. And especially when I get into a relationship, I start to lose myself into that person because I love so hard. And then when they rip the rug out from under me, I literally like lose myself and I'm floating through space for a little bit. And it was really, really intense and a lot. And then the internet was being weird to me on TikTok. It's over now. But I don't know. I feel like I've been growing a lot. Because you don't have a choice. So that's my little life update. And I'll try and go more into detail later. But I never know if people like actually care or not. But I am going to keep talking about myself because it's good for me to verbally process. Anyways, so we're here to talk about Sabrina Carpenter. We are here to talk about man's best friend. Now, when I say man's best friend, I don't actually mean this adorable little doggy that I have right here beside me who's sleeping very peacefully. So I won't show you her right now. We're talking about women on our knees with our hair being pulled in a cute, hot, suggestive position, which, you know, honestly, when I looked at it the first time, I did not get that it was supposed to be like a dog on a leash. I really didn't get that. Because I just am seeing a human girl being pulled by her hair, and I'm seeing Cassie, and I'm seeing things that are not pleasant in my head. But that's my association, right? So, Gail the astronaut, let me introduce Gail the astronaut early because, yeah, she do be calling herself an astronaut, and she do be insisting that we call her that too. So, Gail the astronaut interviewed Sabrina Carpenter about this album, and she asked her about the backlash. Now, Sabrina's 26, I'm 27. So, when I am about to talk about her mental state and responses, I'm coming from somebody who's a year older than her, so I'm trying to give her a little bit of grace because she is young. But to know that a 27-year-old woman should be able to explain her art in some capacity, okay? So Gail, the astronaut, asked Sabrina, okay, so what about this backlash? How did you react to it? Sabrina goes, y'all need to get out more. She's from Pennsylvania, and so I know Kaylor is from Pennsylvania, so there's like a certain sort of accent there. I'm not sure if she's exaggerating it or she really talks like that now, but it's I feel like we blinked and she's country. That's a different issue. She's allowed to be country, whatever. I know, that's what I'm saying is I know there is a little bit of like Appalachian in Pennsylvania that allows them to have this sort of y'all, and also like whenever, they say whenever, in places where you would normally say when. I'm very into like linguistics and etymology and where words come from and how people talk. So that's what, when I go into my tangents about that, that's why. I know you're like, Kira, we don't care about this. You guys, I definitely have some undiagnosed things. And so my tangents, I can't help them. That's why I have this channel. And that's why you love me and I love you for listening. Look at my nails, by the way. Did them myself. In continuation, I hope you like my little outbursts. Comment below if you like my outbursts, please. I need validation right now. Please, Lord knows I need it. We're talking about the Carpenter, not Jesus, the other one. So here's my thing. The album is, oh no, we were talking about Gayle King. We're talking about Gail asking her about the backlash, and she said, y'all need to get out more. First of all, no. First of all, that response to the backlash makes no sense. Nobody was saying, and that is what I don't like. And you'll notice the quickest way people respond to arguments is to convolute them and confuse them for other things, so that it widens the target, because now you have to combat misinformation about what they said you're saying, and then you have to get back to the point. Nobody is saying, oh, it's too sexually liberated. People are saying it looks a little DV for a pop album. These are different things, right? And so she's making it seem like everybody's saying, like, she's making it seem like everyone's so vanilla. And she has this thing that the main critique, or part of why the critique goes with her, is because at first we thought she was being really funny, and then she was doing these little, like, oh, she's just so into H word, being like publicly H word, and doing all those like jokes, physical jokes on stage with the microphone. And it's like, let her do it. That's an in-person performance. I had no feelings about that. But then when you start to publicize this image that everybody has seen, because she's like one of the biggest pop stars right now, but your music is like 14 plus, and people are like, what do you mean it's 14 plus? What 14-year-olds party till 10 a.m.? Okay, the themes are not mature enough that like older adults are like really relating. It's like somebody who just discovered boys and boys liking them in a way that I personally am not that interested in. I think a lot of grown women are over it. We're not in that phase where that sort of those topics are interesting in the same way. It's a little bit boring. It's a little bit elementary. And I think here's the other thing, is just because you put smexual things into it. Sorry, I'm trying not to get my video suppressed at all. Just because you put anything sensual into it doesn't automatically mean the messaging is mature. It just means you threw some words in there that you think are buzzwords. Like, she's very obsessed with this idea of my public image is so, like, it's not just the 1950s and then the sensuality and then the things she does with the microphones, but now the lyrics are getting so, like, intentionally trying to shock you, vulgar in ways that, but you're really pairing them with pretty elementary basic themes of like, oh, and now I'm not the most desired, and oh, like, I just love when this man does the bare minimum. And it's very like Barbie movie, but then put in some R-rated photos and call it satire. That's what they want to do, right? And then there's women who are straight, and I have to say, like, I date men, so I'm not like trying to shit on straight women, but there are some straight women who are reacting to this like they are being oppressed, who are reacting to the discourse about Sabrina Carpenter like, oh, and now straight women can't express our sexuality. Relax. Nobody's coming for your right to be straight, babes. I promise you. Like, nobody is coming for your right to date men. So that's just another weird response that people are having. But when Gail the astronaut asked Sabrina about this backlash, and she said, y'all need to get out more, she then sort of had the opportunity to explain her project, and all she had to say was, she basically said, well, my parents loved it, and my friends, my people loved it. It's like, it sounds like she has a lot of yes men around her who will confirm anything she says and not allow her to question where she's coming from ever. Like, I think it's really important to have people around you who question you as an artist. Like, as somebody who, obviously I have my own creative process. Like, you can watch my last video where I'm talking about my choreographic process for this residency I'm doing. You should be eager to speak about your art. Why is she not eager? That's when I start to really think somebody's immature. Because I think giving your art your voice and your narrative is such an empowering, beautiful thing that you can do when asked. And it's like, there's been so many generations of women who've had to be performers, voiceless performers, and who've had to portray things that they don't want to portray. And it's like, no, please speak up. Like, if you meant this, tell us why. I can respect that. I can respect a stand. That's why you can't be too upset with Chappell Roan most of the time. Because she'll stand on it, she'll explain it, and she bleeds her art. Like, she really, really lives that. I'm not feeling Sabrina Carpenter's same commitment to ethos, right? Because why is she saying, she was like, it just felt like really the opposite of the end of the world. But she didn't explain where the cover was coming from at all. I would have respected if she said, this is where I was coming from, this is the vision I had for the album. She basically said this album is throwaways from Short and Sweet, but then used a cover that was way too much of a weapon that needs to be handled carefully. I'm not saying nobody could ever do that cover. I just think they needed to handle it with a lot more care and nourish the back end of it a lot differently and a lot more maturely and just differently. She's careless about it. She was very careless about such a sensitive image. And I think that when you're starting to play with semi-dangerous messaging, like anything that can allude to DV or anything that can allude to subordination of women, you need to back it up with your art. And the art didn't speak for itself, and then she couldn't speak for herself either. And so we're all left here to our own devices, which is to come up with its meaning and how we feel about it on our own. And most of us are like, so that was whack. Especially given the Lolita imagery that apparently she doesn't know about. And it's like, I liked this girl. I liked this girl. Are you aware that I liked this girl? I was thinking today, I was thinking today about how I made a video a while ago talking about how she was doing so well and how we all loved her because she was so funny and how I couldn't see her messing this up and how I really hoped I didn't have to eat my words on that. I think she can come back from it. I keep saying that. I really believe it's true. I think this is a phase for her. It's a phase that it's just missing. Like she's throwing things at the wall and they're just not sticking. But I do think she can come back from it, absolutely 100%. I think she needs a new team. I think she needs some people who will challenge her around her. Like, she needs to not just have her childhood best friends that she has around her who are afraid to say no to her because, well, they're on her payroll now. What are they going to do without you? Nothing. Get some people who have nothing to lose if they tell you no. That's how you become a true artist, is when you have some people around you who say, well, sometimes I like your vision, sometimes I don't. I respect you as an artist, but I need you to know the truth. Where are those people for her? She deserves that, right? Because I still think she has a lot of talent and a lot of this and a lot of that. I just really hated the messaging of this whole album. I hated that it was all ballads. And I said when the cover came out, I was like, so this is a crazy thing to come out from a pop star who's going to give us all ballads. And they're going to be basic schmasic. So why are we doing all this? We didn't need to. She's so pretty that all of the other alternative covers were so much better because her face card is nuts. So she didn't need to do all that. People are saying it's her Ariana Grande moment. She's trying to have her Dangerous Woman moment, but Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman was way more authentic and different. And I also think that part of it is because she's a child star, we expect her to be over male attention to this degree. We expect her to be tired of the creepy male gaze of older men. We expect her to be tired with the I'm so small and hot shtick. And so when you pair that with the we were waiting for the other shoe to drop with that album cover. We were waiting. When you gather that anticipation because of what the album cover was, just to give it some ballad throwaways. Like, what did you lit a fire there. So that's how I feel about Sabrina Carpenter's album cover. No, Sabrina Carpenter's album. And I think it's funny that Sydney Sweeney is dating Scooter Braun right now. She wants to be the most hated woman in America at the same time. Because it's like these blondes are taking over our news cycles in ways that are less than favorable. And you have to ask why now? Why in this way? So comment what you think about this down below. Please subscribe. I promise you I am getting my ish together in regards to posting. So comment down below other things you want to see. I love you very much. Have a good day or night. I will see you very soon. Bye.